Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of the Van Build. My name is Daniel, and I'm currently working on converting my Sprinter van into a camper van for me to live out of. I kind of took a little bit of a break this past week because I got sick, actually on my birthday and following, so I've been just kind of resting and catching up on some TV shows and stuff like that, trying to get better, mostly sleeping. But we're back at it today. We're going to be finishing a couple of things here. We've got a couple things that we ordered here from Amazon that came in. I'm going to be putting in some LED lighting, so there's some switches for that, and these are just LED connectors to connect it to connect the LEDs onto things. And where those LEDs are going to go is actually going to be on the underside of these two 2x4 beams here underneath the bed, and then I'm going to attach a switch for it down here by the door or back there so that I'll have some lighting, because when the bed is there and it's covering it up, it gets none of this lighting, so it's completely dark down there. So that lighting is going to be very helpful for finding things in my garage. And then these two things right here are heating pads. They're going to be attached to both sides of the water tank to keep the water from freezing. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm not going to be doing a water heating system, so I do not have hot water in my sink. But I like being in cold climates, and I really like winter sports, snowboarding in particular. So I spend a lot of time up the mountains at ski resorts, and we do not want our water freezing. So these heating pads have an adhesive on them. They'll just stick onto the side there, and then they have a temperature sensor here, so it'll cut on and off. But I'm also going to put a switch on here so that way I can just turn these off entirely when I'm traveling during the summer, because I obviously shouldn't need them at all. So the unfortunate thing is we're going to have to take apart my electrical system, which is really going to suck, because I need to connect some more 12-volt wires here to my 12-volt DC fuse box here. And unfortunately, this thing, some of the wires are too short to be able to actually pull this thing all the way out. I'm going to try it because it would be much easier to do it that way, but I've got to connect some lines here because I don't have any. And once again, this is why planning is important, and I think I'm going to learn my lesson one of these days. Luckily, this drawer has the ability to come out. I do need to unclip these wires here. I'm just going to completely unclip these. Okay, let's just put this. So that'll give us room underneath here if we need to mess with anything here. I'm going to take this fuse box out now to see if I can add some more wires. So look at this. I was actually able to get the wire through by pulling this down enough and just kind of finagling with the wire, pushing it through on the other side down there through the hole that's already there for the other wires that are underneath the bed. So I should be able to do two of these, and I just gotta kind of put it through the back here, split it off, strip it, and then screw it into place here, and I can add the fuses later. That's going to save me a lot of work because having to move that was not going to be fun. So I've got both of the heating pads connected here. I ran the wires along with these other ones. Ignore that mess there. But you won't be able to see it because it's in the garage. Obviously, these are not going to be needed in the summer, so I would like to be able to just turn them off completely when it's warm enough that the water's not going to freeze. Because they do have a like a temperature on-off switch, so if it does get too warm, they're supposed to turn off. But I'd like to be able to completely cut them off from power here, so I added this switch here, which will be accessible just by opening that door, and it won't be visible outside because I won't be using it too often. I already stuck one of the pads over on the other side, and then this one, we're just going to remove this backing here, and then it'll stick right onto this side. Now that both pads are on, we can go ahead and test it. I put this all back together off camera, so I also ran another wire here. This is going to be for the LEDs that are going to go underneath the bed to light the trunk area. That's just kind of going to stay off in the corner because we can't do that till the bed's all put back together. But I also put a fuse in the fuse box, so this should be able to turn on. The only way that we're going to be able to tell that it's on really is, well, for one, I should be able to feel it, like just with my hand. Also using our battery monitor app on my phone, I should be able to tell just by the how many amps are being drawn. So currently with just the lights on, those are the only things that are really drawing power right now. Our present amps are 1.5, so once we switch this on, it's not going to jump up right away probably, but if we reload it, if you guys can see there, it just jumped up to 8.2. So, and that's with both of these on. Can't exactly feel anything yet. And the thing is these shouldn't actually turn on because it's currently 75 inside the van. At least that's what the thermostat says, if you can even see it. And these are supposed to both have this little thermostat on them, so they're really not supposed to turn on unless it's below 55 degrees, I believe, or actually I think the on switch is at 37 and the cutoff is at 55, so they shouldn't turn on unless it's really cold, but they are drawing power. I actually do feel it getting a little bit warm here in the center at least. Not really on the ends, but definitely in the center. So I'm not really sure if that even works, but they do work, so they should be able to warm up the water and keep it from freezing, hopefully. We'll turn that off because we don't need it right now. We don't want to waste electricity, but we won't really be able to know whether they will actually work the way they're supposed to until it actually gets cold enough for the water to freeze. But it is all wired up, so that's done, which means we should be able to permanently enclose our water tank here and put our bed back together. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and take this overhead cabinet down because we're gonna work on putting in the underlighting here, same as we did for that one, but it's gonna be a lot easier to actually just take it off, build it all outside, and then it just connects to this wire right here. And Dad's helping with this one.
You got it? Got it.
Okay, close. Okay, so this was all done off camera because I didn't want it to take forever. But it took us, what, like 3 hours?
Something like that.
Yeah, just to get this done. We're doing it almost the same as the one that's already in the van. We cut these aluminum tracks that are going to be holding the LED strips. We've screwed them into this piece of board that's going to go into the bottom of the shelf. And we cut a hole for the IR receiver here for the remote. Kind of ugly, but you probably really won't be able to see it anyway.
Nope.
Because we had to do it for the other one. We just need to solder these all together because the clips that we got for them don't really work, the L brackets. But we're gonna do that maybe tomorrow because it's getting late. But this should be a lot easier to get in than the other one since we actually took out the cabinet. Okay, so it's Sunday right now, and I'm actually inside the basement here at Dad's little electronic table. And so we're getting all of these little pieces of the LED strip lights tinned, which basically just means putting solder onto the contact points. I don't know if that will help you see, but I'm just about done with these ones. I've done these 3, so I'm just gonna put one last piece of solder on there. And then for this here, this is the piece of board that's gonna go under. I already soldered all of these wires onto each of the contact points for this one, and then of course those are just gonna turn and connect here, and we're gonna do the same for all the corners. Okay. That was the last one, that's it.
Okay.
So it's actually been a couple of days since I last filmed. We're back in the barn today, so we're in the van. And I did this off camera, but I added some extra pieces of flooring here to finish this up. So now it goes all the way to the edge. We do still have to cut a few more small pieces to go back there behind the driver's seat. And then we'll have to put the transition on. And then I've got that rubber piece that I'm going to put here. But that shouldn't be too difficult. So we've got the bottom piece on here. We finished soldering up. Dad finished the last one, I think, but you'll see we've got all of these connected on all four sides going all the way around. So we just got to stick it to the bottom. That's pretty much it. Oh, we got to cut the these white tracks that go on to kind of cover them up inside the tracks. And that's pretty much it. Then we can reinstall this shelf back into the van. Over this. Okay. Okay. Can you open the door? All right. Okay, so our shelf is back installed where it was before. If we open up our cabinet here, you can see the wires here, which we can probably just kind of bury that in there. I don't know, it's kind of ugly, but whatever. I'll worry about it later. When I fill it up with stuff, you won't be able to see it anyway. But, so that's all connected. So we turn off our main lights and grab our remote. I mean, that one has already been working, so now that one works too. And then we're going to have one on the other side. So with both of those lights on, it should be a good amount of lighting here, so I don't always have to have the top lights on. Okay, so that time lapse you just watched was just me finishing up a bunch of different things. I didn't even show everything that we did because I kind of stopped filming and talking about everything, but I'll show you now. So I did get this cabinet door put on. We've got a latch right here to hopefully keep that shut while driving. Completely finished the floor. We've got our transition pieces on the end here going into the cab area, and then also this rubber kind of stair edge piece just to kind of finish off the flooring here and make it look clean. I think that looks really nice. And we got our bed put back in. We're not going to put the mattress in yet because it's not really necessary right now. And then inside of our garage area, we've got two switches here. One of these is to turn on the heating pads for the water tank, which is behind that wall there. Then the one above turns on our garage lighting, which is really nice because it was very difficult to see inside here, even during the daytime sometimes. So this is definitely going to help with finding my gear and stuff. And then also the propane storage box is finished. So I'll show you that from the other side. All it is really just to store my propane tank. It's got a lid that is removable here at the top, so I can turn it on and off. It's off right now. And then my hose is just kind of coiled there. I'll probably figure out something better to keep that stored, but it's nice that it's long because then I can pull this all the way out and set it on the floor to take it off. Then I've just got a carabiner here holding this lock, and then the door opens like that. It's kind of tight, and then There's that vent. I did end up putting some mesh there so bugs and stuff can't fly up in here, and any leaks that we hopefully never have will go down in there. I'm also going to stick a carbon monoxide detector inside this box as well, so it'll beep if we have a leak. And then we also finished putting the LED lighting underneath this cabinet here. So now they're on underneath those two as well as this one. So we've got all our cabinets with underlighting, which is very nice. I did also insert more insulation into the sides here and the top there. And then I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with those two window openings, or at least where the windows are supposed to be, but we will figure that out in the next video. There isn't a whole lot left to do, so I'm getting really excited because the van's almost done. It's pretty much just minor things that are left in the van, but that's going to be about all for this week's video. I'm not 100% sure. I know I've been slacking on the videos, but with this stuff, some of it just might take a little bit of time, so it might be more than a week before I get the next video out, but once I'm able to start traveling again, hopefully I can get back up with posting more frequently. But with that being said, once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.